Hi, I'm Carrie Kenner, owner of Becoming a Birth Doula online birth doula training and author of So You Want to Be a Doula and the Becoming a Doula Journal. I today am going to show you how to walk through the certification process for Washington State doulas. This is a new program, just became effective January 1st, 2025. And they are accepting applications for certification so that you can serve clients in Washington State who are on the Apple Medicaid insurance program. So follow along with me so that you'll be able to submit your certification application as well. I'm going to be sharing my screen here so that you will see all the different pages that you'll have to go through. Okay, so we're going to start with how do you get to the page that shows you where the application is? And to do that, just do a Google search for Washington State doulas like I've done here. And then we'll see a number of different options. And I'm going to use this one here because I have used it before. So I know it will take me to the right place. And then I want you to notice on the left here, it's going to give you a description of the birth doula program. It's going to list approved training programs, and my online doula training program is one of the approved training programs for the state. And then here's the link for certification information. So you're going to click on certification information. And then you have two options to apply online and apply on paper. And I'm going to show you the online version today. There's a fee, but that fee is waived until at least July 1st or 30th of this year, 2025. So if you apply before then that certification fee is waived. After that, they're not sure if they'll have funding to waive those fees. So it's best to do it as soon as you can. And if you want a list of the licensing requirements, you could click on this link to see them below, but I'm not going to go through that today because we're just going to dive right on into applying online. So when you click that link, you're going to see this video, and I suggest you watch it. It only takes 4 minutes to watch, and it gives you an overview of the same things that I'm going to be doing, only it's a little bit more generic. And then you can also see instructions on the website, but we are going to dive right into the certification process. And it's always a little bit tricky to find all the links on here. So getting started, you're going to create a Secure Access Washington account, also known as a SAW account. And to do that, and you may already have one, which is fine. Either way, you're going to click this link and it's going to take you here to log in. Now I've logged in already, so it's going to pick up I've saved these things, so it's going to pick up my credentials, and I'm going to be able to log in. And now that I'm in, if you're creating an account, it's going to ask you a little bit more information, but you're eventually going to have an account and you're going to enter your credentials so that you can get to this screen. And you're going to add a new service. So this button over here, and you're going to click, I would like to browse a list of services by agency. Okay, so you're going to click that one down there. And the agency we're looking for is the Department of Health right here. So I'm going to click on Department of Health. And then I am going to, let's see, which one am I doing here? This might already have me, so it's not showing it as an option. Let's see if I can go back and see what I already had. Yes, it was to do an online application portal. Yes, the option, okay, so it was under add a new service. I'd like to browse a list of services by agency. I go to Department of Health. And then there was an option for me that was to access the online application portal. It's not here for me because I've already done it. Okay, so it's not a new service for me. But for you, if it's the first time, that is where you will go. Okay, so now I'm going to go back to accessing the application portal because I've already been there. And it's going to want me to do my multi-factor authentication. All right, and now I'm going to access the online application portal. And there should be an application partially filled out waiting for me. That is what I hope we find. All right. So here is the information that I've already entered. And I just want you to see that it's standard information: first name, middle name, last name, date of birth, social security number, your gender, street address, including your state zip code and county, your contact information, phone number, and email address. And if all that is good, you're going to keep going. It says, please review the information below and click edit if updates are needed. Otherwise, click exit to move to the application section. So a little bit counterintuitive, but you're going to say exit. And then if you have any outstanding applications you've been working on, they're going to be listed here. And here is my birth doula certification. So I am going to click resume to pick up where I left off. I want to show you all the different bits of information that they're going to be asking you. So demographic information is already filled in from the main application that I did before. And I'm going to click save and next to go on to the next page. And here it's going to ask basically about your ability to do the job of being a birth doula. So do you have any medical conditions which would limit your ability to practice? Do you currently use any chemical substances that would impair your ability to practice? Have you been diagnosed with or treated for pedophilia, exhibitionism, voyeurism, or frauderism? Are you currently engaged in the illegal use of controlled substances? Have you ever been convicted of things? Have you ever been found in any civil proceedings to have blah, 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 blah. Okay, so all these different things that they are going to ask you questions about. You don't need any information, just yes and no answers at this point. So you could either save it, but it's recommended to save and go to the next page, but always save. Otherwise, any information you have entered, if you leave your computer for, I don't know if it's 5 minutes or 15 minutes, it will erase any information that you hadn't saved. Okay, so enter your national provider identification number if available. So I actually have one, and I'm going to go to this page to find it. And I'm going to show you how to get one of these when we're done going through this application, because you can come back and enter it like I'm doing now. So I didn't have it when I was originally filling out this application form, but now I have it. And so that's how easy it is to edit something. You just go back to that page and you save and go on to the next page. And again, I'm going to explain more about the NPI number in a little bit. Now it's going to ask if I'm a spouse or domestic partner of military personnel, if I have any other license, certifications, or registrations. And then this is going to ask about the training, and this is going to apply very specifically to you. So to be a doula in Washington State, you need to have completed a culturally congruent ancestral practice training and education that demonstrates competency in the things that are listed here. If you took my birth doula training, the online training, Becoming a Birth Doula, it meets the requirement for a culturally congruent ancestral practice training. So you are going to select that you either took that or you didn't. And this was actually unchecked at first. So you're going to select one. Either you're going to complete a culturally congruent ancestral practice training and education program, or you've completed it through the ancestral pathway competency. So it's an alternate way of meeting those requirements, or you have an out-of-state endorsement. Okay, so I completed the culturally congruent ancestral practice training and education. And then I also checked this box. I've successfully completed these practices. I initial it, put the date in there, and then again, save and continue. Now it's asking what training program I went to. Well, I went through my own training program. That's the luxury of being a doula trainer. So I attended it on these dates. I started and I ended. There's a name of the training that you're going to put in there, and then your training program approval number. And I want you to notice that this isn't a required field. So if you don't have that, I'm not sure if they're going to require it or not. I obviously have it because it's my training program. So I entered that approval number in there. Once I found out that this is required, I started to add that to the certificate of completion that I give to my students, but it may not be on your training completion of certification certificate. So you might need to get that if the state requires that from you. Okay, the next thing is that they're going to require 3 written testimonial letters. These can be either from a client, another practicing doula or midwife, a community-based organization, or a licensed provider. And I'm going to show you what this looks like, what this form looks like. So this is the letter of recommendation. You're going to download this and either send it to people or print it out. It's going to have your name in here, and then the person that's providing this letter of recommendation is going to say how many years or months they've known you, what their relationship to you is, where they're licensed or where they practice, if they have a license number, what that is. And they're going to say how they're acquainted with you, and then they're going to leave some remarks. They're going to leave their information here, and that's it. It is not a big to-do, okay? So you just need 3 of those. And then notice that there's nowhere to put that now. So they're just telling you you're going to need that. And then you're going to go to the next page, which is basically summarizing all the things. Like if you want more information on the different RCW and WAC codes that this applies to, but otherwise you're going to click next, and then you're going to give your attestation where you're basically saying, yep, this is me. So I declare under perjury that I'm the person described. I've read these things. I've answered the questions. I've provided documentation that's accurate. I've read all the laws and rules. I understand what's required of me. I'm releasing the state from responsibility. All those things you agree. You initial and date. Okay, and then you're going to review all the information that you put in, and you have an edit button if you want to change anything. Okay, so there's all the information that you entered. And notice that the fee here is 0, and you're going to submit. So it is giving me a submission received. It's giving me a pending credential number. So I guess that would be my credential number. Okay, so the next thing I wanted to show you is the provider credentialing information. And we're going to go over to this page. This is the paper form. And there's an online form, but because I've already received an NPI number, I can't walk you through the process again. So similar to what you're going to do with the website for accessing the Washington application process, there's also the National Provider Identification website. So again, just Google National Provider Identifier Number application, the combination of those words, and you'll get taken to the site, and you're going to create an account for yourself, and it's going to ask you the same types of demographic information. And then there will be an online form that'll be similar to this one, but I want to show you what to expect from this paper form. Okay, so we're going to scroll down here. It's going to ask you basic information about you, that you're the initial applicant. And when it asks what entity type, you're an individual who renders healthcare. Even if you have an LLC or you're part of an agency or something like that, you're an individual. You're not an organization. You're not a hospital or a clinic or anything like that. So be sure and choose an individual who renders individual healthcare. And then you can say if you're a sole proprietor or not. All right. Then you're going to put in your standard identifying information, your name, any other names, former names, your date of birth, social security number, state of birth, country of birth, and it's asking for an individual taxpayer identification number. For most people, it's going to be just their standard social security number. You're going to skip Part B because you're not an organization. And here you're going to provide your mailing address, your business location information, which for most doulas, their home is this place, but they do most of their business, so those numbers would be the same. Any other provider identification numbers, and your provider taxonomy code. Okay, so this is important, and I'm gonna see if I can find mine here. Okay, so look down here where it says selected taxonomy, and it's 374J00000X doula. And then you're going to give a statement that it is you, and you're going to sign and date it. You're going to list yourself as the contact person, and that's kind of it. So that is how you get your NPI number. Now, that field was not required, so you don't have to have it when you apply. Just know that you could apply for your certification and your NPI number at the same time, and then wait for the NPI number to come in and then add that later to your certification. What I want to show you is how to upload the documents that they've asked for, such as your certificate of training and your letters of recommendation. So you're going to go log into your Secure Access Washington account. And then you're going to go to your Access Now. This is part of the online application portal that we completed your application in. Ask you to continue. It's going to ask you to verify your personal information. Remember, you hit exit if it's fine and edit if you need to make any changes. And then it's going to show you your applications that are in some status. So the status of my birth doula certification application is that it has been submitted, but I know that I need to upload some documents. And what I'm going to upload today is my training certificate. I don't have all my letters of recommendation yet. So I'm going to click on Upload Files, find my certificate of completion, and it's going to upload it. And then it lists that now as an uploaded file. And then when I have my letters of recommendation ready, I'm going to come back to the same place and do the same thing. And I know that you will hear from the state via email if they need anything else. And the last thing I wanted to show you is that there is a Facebook group specifically for Apple Health, Medicaid doulas, and this is going to be the place where you're going to get the most up-to-date information on what's going on for birth doulas in Washington State. So you can go to this Facebook group. You can see the address here, up here in the search bar, and you can go there and request to join the group and then stay up to date on information. So I hope that gives you a good sneak peek into what you're going to be doing when you apply for your certification, and hope it made sense and was helpful. If you have any questions, visit me in the Facebook group, Becoming a Birth Doula, and I will answer to the best of my ability. All right, good luck to you, and thanks for being a doula. Bye.